Okay, so this is a PowerPoint presentation that I created about story quilts. So here is a brief history of quilts. Quilting extends back to ancient Egypt and China. During the Middle Ages, scraps were saved to patch cloths and blankets together. During the 18th century, quilts became fashionable, and the Industrial Revolution, 20th century technology, created new designs for quilts. New fabrics were used by high-class members of society. Quilts started out simple and became a trade for many. Quilts represented people's lives and were often passed down. And lastly, quilts were also used for various celebrations and events. What is a story quilt? Well, it's a visual depiction that tells a story. Each square may represent a chapter. A specific design or symbol can represent a particular area, and squares can be visual and written. How quilts can be used? They can be used to teach art, to help children recognize patterns, shapes, and colors. They could be used as follow-up activities, to reinforce ideas, for lessons, comprehension, to tell a story, to reflect, to strengthen class relationships, or even as decorations in the classroom. They could be used in most subject areas. A wish list as well. They could be used as creative ideas in the classroom, with songs or games, to introduce vocabulary, and to introduce story quilts to the class and the elements and uses of it. Different themes. So there's memory quilts, which uses handprints, book quilts, subject quilts, word walls, multicultural. How quilts can fit into language arts. So the different components of language arts, reading and writing, visual representation, listening, talking, viewing, and thinking. So what do you think of when you hear the word visual representation? What do you think it means? Visual representation means to depict or portray an image or likeness of something. Story quilts are an example of visual representation. Students can use a variety of signs and symbols to visually represent their understanding. When we use visual representation, we create lessons and activities that build on words or ideas through the arts. We establish a more dynamic education all around, incorporates the mind and body in the interpretation of imaginative ideas, increase child confidence, assist with language development, and support the development of multiple intelligences. Visual representation can be linked to guided reading, vocabulary, independent reading, comprehension, and shared reading. Why use story quilts? They can be used for connections with text, understanding of literacy work and art, learn to reflect and summarize concepts, to increase knowledge, and written text and illustrations make meaning. Story quilts promote communication among peers and peer relations, inclusion, and parent-guardian participation. So here is a little bit of how to make a story quilt. So there's tons of different ways, material and sewing, or even just construction paper, drawing, assistance from the teacher helps as well for the younger kids. It also depends on the type of quilt that you're making, of course, and you can be creative with it. Learning accommodations. So there could be accommodations for students who have difficulty writing. You can have an assistant transfer their ideas to paper as well, an educational assistant. You can use real-life pictures as well, or have a helper to draw them. You could pair with another student or in small groups for assistance as well. Groups can work together to create their own quilts. Or another option could be to complete computer-generated quilt squares. And that's the end. Thank you for listening.